Hi YouTube, this is Purses and More, and I'm back with another video. In my previous video, I shared with you how I make my cash envelopes by just folding the vellum and encasing that into laminate. This video, I'm going to share with you how to add more structure to your envelopes if you want to use a little bit more product. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and took the liberty of cutting out 3 more vellums for some envelopes. I'm going to show you 2 ways to add structure to your envelopes. However, you will need some more laminate for these. So you can use the 3mm laminate as well as the 5mm laminate. I only have the 5mm in the mat, so that's what I'm going to use. If you want to use the 3mm as well as the 5mm in your envelope, you can. It might be a little bit easier than what I'm going to show you, but it's to your discretion. So first of all, I went ahead and cut these, and if you're interested to see how I made this part, I will link the video in my description box of the video where I show you how I make my envelopes. So this one is the Christmas. I have Christmas, travel, and Black Friday. I thought I'd share with you how I do this to make them more rigid and add more structure to the envelopes that I made in my prior video. So this is measuring, these rather are measuring 6.5 in the length and a little bit bigger than 6 in the width. However, this is the one that I fold. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and fold this one, and we'll start there. So let me go ahead and move this up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this one, lining up the edge as best I can. And there we go. I'm going to fold this. I'm going to use my fingernail to really mark that edge along there. And this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to move my cutter down. I'm going to go ahead and trim off this edge a little bit. I need to see, it's hard for me to see right now where I'm at here. I'm going to go ahead and trim it. It is, I will show you. I have it on one line past the 3. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that with all 3. However, this one I'm folding. The other 2 I'm going to cut. So with that being said, let's go ahead and share with you how I cut the other ones. I'll set that one aside. Now this one, because I'm cutting it at 3, I'm going to measure it up to that line there. It's going to go between the 3 and that little line. And so therefore the other half will be between 3 and also the other line. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. So I now have 2 pieces of vellum, but I do have an edge there that I need to trim off. So there's this one and this one so far. Let me go ahead and get this one. And also, you can do this too. Let me show you. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this one. This is another way to make it easier. So if you fold this one in half, you trim this at the 3 mark where it was before the 3 in the line. You trim that off, making sure it lines up and is even. What you can do now is you can open up this envelope and you can cut where you creased it. I'm going to go this way with it. You can just line up that crease with your blade. making sure that this is straight. And you can cut it, and that'll give you the same as the Black Friday one. All right, so there is an edge there, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that's trimmed off. Okay, so now I have 3 envelopes started. This one and this one are both cut in half, which is a little bit more time consuming when you put the laminate in there. And this one is the folded one. Okay, travel's folded and these 2 are cut in half. Let me go ahead and share with you how I get the laminate prepared so that you can maybe do the same. All right, so I'm gonna set these right there. So I have my laminate, and this is 5 mil. So I'm gonna go ahead and on this rounded edge, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. Now I'm going to turn this around so that I have this straight edge as my beginning. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this to the 3 1/4. And you'll see why in a minute. So 3 1/4 because I needed to overlap. I needed to be a little bit bigger than my vellum. So I'm going to do 3 of these at 3 1/4. So there's the first one. There's the second one. And there is the third one. Now I'm going to take each one of these and I'm going to make them 6 3/4. Now, if you're making envelopes for your wallet, and your wallet is the Daisy Rose and you've converted it, your measurements are going to need to go a little bit smaller because you're adding laminate to reinforce the vellum. All right, so now this is going to be 6 3/4. Okay, now I have my 3 laminates here. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the travel one first. This one is the one that I folded, and this is my laminate. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and put it in like this because if I were to laminate that like that, I wouldn't have a pocket because that would be together and it wouldn't stick to this. It would be weird. So, I'm going to open this up and fold it on itself so the slippiness is together, which is why it makes it a little bit tedious. And this is going to make your pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my envelope. You do want to have an overhang on each side. So as you can see, it overhangs there and on top. I'm going to set that there. Let's go ahead and do the next one. Now, you can just use the front piece if you want and not bother with this back piece. But I like the aesthetic of having the frosted on both sides of the vellum. So I'm going to go ahead and take my laminate. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it like this and turn it over, lining it up. So now I'm going to go ahead and line up my back piece of vellum on my cutting mat. Now I'm going to take my laminate and I'm going to place this over top of my vellum, and it has to be equal on both sides. I'm using my cutting mat as a guide. However, as you notice, I am overlapping the bottom as well, and I have to overlap the top, so that means I'm going to move it up a little bit. Okay, so I have that like that. Now I'm going to take this piece and line that up so that I have a little bit of laminate on all sides. Because when I put this in the other laminate, it's going to be sealing all 4 sides pretty much. and I need to make sure that that's straight. So what I do now is I pick that up and make sure that that is the way I want it. And it looks like it is. And that's why it's tedious, because you got to make sure all your edges are together. I'm going to go ahead and put my travel envelope in, and then I'll show you how to do the other two. So I need to put this in, this piece of laminate. So I'm going to put this up top here to get this into the crease. And then I'm going to go ahead and start getting that moved over. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this one in here. Now I got to do the Black Friday one. You open this up and you fold it like this. You just open it up. This laminate is going to be in between, sandwiched in between this vellum. You don't necessarily have to line it up with the cutting mat. If you can just eyeball it, making sure that each edge has a little bit of the laminate showing. The only thing is when you put the back piece on, you need to make sure that that is lined up. So let's go ahead and do the back piece first. And then we'll turn it around and do the front piece. This is where your structure comes in. So you got to make sure that it's as straight as you can get it. Okay, so now I've got that straight, and I'm going to turn it over. And I can see my vellum through my laminate. So now I've got to line up this one on top of that one. And then I'm going to move this one down a little bit so it's apart from that other one. That's what this looks like so far. I'm going to go ahead and laminate this, and I'll be right back. All right, so now I have my cutter. I'm going to go ahead and cut these apart. Okay, so then the travel one, there is my opening for my pocket. I'm going to go ahead and cut as close as I can to these two without cutting into this lamination that's underneath. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and cut these two apart. Just right down the middle. And then when I'm done cutting, I'll run them through the lamination again to make sure that all of the edges of the laminate is sealed to this top laminate. That's what's going to give you your structure. Okay, so I ran these through several times. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'll go ahead and cut the travel one first. I still have my open pocket. Now with this, I cut as close to there as I can. Now I'm going to take it to the 7-inch mark, and it's as close to there as I can get it without cutting into the bubble. Now this is going to be the size of my envelope, except for this margin is going to be smaller. I'm going to take that to 3 3/4. Let's go ahead and share with you these ones. These ones have the lamination the whole way around. So let's go ahead and get these ones trimmed up. Now I don't want to go into the vellum because that will remove the structure of the lamination. Okay, so I need to have that pocket opened, or else I won't be able to use it for my money. Let me go ahead and trim up this side as close to the edge as I can without going into the other laminate. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And when I do the other side, I can measure it to 7 and it should be fine. Just going to do it this way. And I'm going to take it to the 7. It's still sealed. Still looks good. Now I'm going to take this to the 3 3/4 mark. Making envelopes is basically trial and error. And that's why it's tedious. But if you can figure out how to make your own, in the long run, you will save yourself money because you'll be able to make them yourself. And you'll have the materials and the investment up front. So there's this one. The next one is this one. So I'm going to go ahead and trim the top first. All right, so there we go. And that's not bad at all. And that's sealed on the top there. And I did not cut into my vellum. I don't know if you can see that, but there's still a little bit of laminate right there that's sealed. And it's not into my vellum, so that's good. So now I'm going to go ahead and trim my sides. Now this is where I don't want to cut into the other laminate because that is sealing the envelope. Same thing goes to this side. Okay, and the bottom. All right, there's my next envelope. So they all line up, they all look good. Now I'm going to round my corners and I'm going to punch my holes. This one is the one that is folded and it has the laminate inside. And these two are the ones that are cut apart and they have the laminate inside. They're all structure. They're all a little bit more durable than just folding the vellum. So there you go. Let me go ahead and round my corners and punch my holes, and I'll show you how they fit in my binder. Okay, so I still have my corner rounder here. Thought I would share this one with you all in case you wanted something a little bit more structured instead of just folding the vellum. You can make your envelopes the way you want to and see how they work out for you and see which ones that you like best. There you go. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and punch my holes. So far, so good. Here's my hole punch. Okay, so I've got my middle line here. Now I'm going to line this up with my middle line. And there's where my holes are punched. I'm just kind of eyeballing it right now, not really measuring. So now, there you go, it's all lined up. Now I'm going to go ahead and put them in a binder and show you what that looks like. And then there's two other things I want to share with you as well that I did. So let me go ahead and share with you what this looks like in a binder. All right, so I bought this binder off of Instagram. So let me go ahead and share with you what this dollar looks like in the new envelopes. That I made. All right, so there's a little bit of leeway, as you can see, with the size of the envelopes that I made. You can certainly make them a little bit smaller if you want. But see how they go in there. So that's how that fits, and you can certainly adjust if you need to. So let's go ahead and put this in there. Another one. That's what those look like, and they fit inside my binder really well. Like I said, if I were going to put these in my wallets, I'd have to adjust where the dollar bill is, as well as my margin, because my wallets are small. Now I have this wallet. I just purchased this. This is a Daisy Rose, and I did convert this into a cash envelope wallet as well. This is what it looks like. Let me go ahead and share with you this mot terme. And as you can see, I did make some papers to go inside that I'm going to kind of redo. But I did make a strap system for this planner cover that I was not using for I think this is for the weeks. And I did put larger rings in there. And these are some money challenge papers that I decided to make just to see how that would look. That I can color in, and I can assign the different shapes for different monetary value. And that way at least I have a binder, and then I keep my money in a different place, and I'll have this to color in to fill out as I do that. So I can definitely put different rings, smaller rings in there, or I can adjust these papers by removing a row of the shapes and making this smaller. But that's this, and that works out pretty good. Doesn't really stick over that far, and I like how that looks, this leather looks with this mot terme cover. All right, so there you go. I hope this has helped anyone who is wanting to reinforce their envelopes if they don't particularly care for just folding their vellum. This shows you how to add the laminate on the inside as well as the outside to give your envelopes more structure and possibly more durability. So as always, I hope you all have a great night, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.